The mass shootings in Texas and Ohio have left an impact on our entire country. Here in Western Mass, the conversation has continued on how we can come together during these violent times. Western Mass News reporter Caroline Powers continues our team coverage after getting answers on how local organizations are responding to the tragedies. Caroline?
Chris, sadly, these mass shootings have become something we are reporting on all too often. The Center for Human Development says even in the midst of these violent acts, this is not a time to create fear or have that contagion of fear take over. We need to continue to come together and talk about these issues as a community.
22 dead in El Paso, Texas, and 9 in Dayton, Ohio. 31 innocent lives taken during back-to-back mass shootings. Scenes like these are unfortunately becoming a familiar sight across the country. Catherine Cook is the Vice President of Behavioral Health at the Center for Human Development. She tells Western Mass News, even though our communities are hundreds of miles away, these tragedies still impact us all, and we need to be ready to talk about them with people of all ages.
I think one of the first things we want to think about is how do we talk about this as a community? And certainly in our work with children and families, we want to be able to ensure that we're creating a container for them to be able to explore their feelings.
According to a report by Mental Health America, 95 to 97% of gun violence is not caused by mental illness.
If we look at research, it shows us that situations of violence, that there's multivariate reasons, and an analysis shows that oftentimes people have substance use issues and a history of being raised in a violent environment, and that is the #1 predictor of violence.
CHD says as we move forward as a country, there needs to be better resources for prevention and education.
This is a sorely underfunded community mental health system across the country, and we know that if those resources were available for folks to be able to get evidence-based care and streamlined access to that care, whether it be however they connect with their community, whether it be their faith-based locations or their schools or the police station, that we offer streamlined access through any point.
Images of overcrowded blood donation centers in El Paso, Texas have been circulating the internet. The American Red Cross says in El Paso specifically, Red Cross volunteers are also supporting a family assistance center. Right now, the Red Cross has what it needs to support these events. While we do not typically serve hospitals in El Paso or Dayton, the Red Cross stands ready to provide blood and blood products as needed in response to these tragedies. The Red Cross also says these tragedies illustrate that it is the blood already on the shelves that helps during an emergency. They are looking for volunteer blood donors every day to keep their supply levels high. Coming up on Western Mass News at 6, we speak exclusively with a retired law enforcement officer who now offers civilian training for active shooter situations. For Western Mass News, I'm Caroline Powers.